Welcome to Lesson 2, Theories, Models, and Data. Here is a list of the topics we will cover and deal with in this lesson. Primarily, the lesson will focus on the construction of economic models. A model is a way of stating a theory in a formal manner. When we build a model, we have to try to validate it, or at least examine if it has some degree of validity. And we do that by gathering data on certain economic variables, and sometimes we will construct index numbers in order to get the data into suitable form. We will then test the economic model by means of the data. So diagrams will form a central role in our analysis in this course. We will finish this lesson by investigating the difference between normative and positive economics and the role of government. So how do we go about our study? What do economists do? What is their approach? Primarily, what we do, particularly in microeconomics, is we study economic behavior. As an example of economic behavior, we can think of simply causes and consequences. If we increase the price of alcohol, will that have an impact on the amount of alcohol that people will purchase? Or if we put more people in jail, will that have an impact on the amount of crime in the economy? So in each of these examples, what we're doing is we're studying behavior subject to incentives. In the first case, the incentive mechanism had to do with the price of the product that the individuals are purchasing. In the second case, we want to know if incarceration acts as a disincentive to committing crime. Our approach as policy economists follows what we have described here in the middle block of this slide. As economists, as we said a moment ago, we're interested in incentives. How do people respond when we place incentives in front of them? Secondly, if we think of incentives as coming from economic policy measures that governments might put in place, we would like to think of the benefits and the costs of the policies themselves. Here then is an example. In most developed economies, governments allow individuals to deduct from their taxable income contributions they make to retirement savings plans, whatever the form of that saving plan may be. So governments provide individuals with incentives. What is the incentive to save? Well, you avoid paying tax on an amount of money that you would have otherwise would have paid tax on at the present time. You are taxed on that income only when you take it out of your retirement savings plan 20, 30, or 40 years down the road. So the incentive to save is that you can postpone paying taxes, and indeed when you take the money out of the retirement savings plan during retirement, the tax rate that applies to that income may be lower than it is at the present time when you are earning. So what are the benefits and the costs of this policy to the government? Well, the benefits, first off, are going to be in the form of the fact that we will have more retired individuals who will not be impoverished. That is a good thing as far as society as a whole is concerned, in addition to making the individuals themselves better off, because governments don't have to be too concerned then about a significant proportion of the retired population living in an impoverished state. But of course, there are costs as well to implementing this kind of a policy. The cost to implementing this kind of a policy is that the government will lose tax revenue at the present time. So we have a very good example here of a policy that provides incentives to individuals to act in a particular way. And once individuals are observed to do that, the government will balance the costs and benefits of the policy and decide whether the policy is a good one or not.